Morning guys, welcome back to my channel. This morning I'm on my way to the pharmacy to buy some more keto strips. I ran out about a week ago, so I haven't tested myself in a little while. The reason I'm not waiting until I get back to work to take the freebies is because I feel like I'm out of ketosis. I've woken up for the second day in a row just feeling bloated, can't focus, mental clarity is just not there, lacking energy, and although I'm bloated, I feel so hungry. My appetite has just increased big time. So yeah, I'm just going to see what the keto strips say and try and figure out what's done this. Okay, so I just got back. I bought these urinalysis strips from the pharmacy. Had to go to 3 different pharmacies to actually find them because they were all out of stock. If this does happen to you, I would suggest just buying them online. They might even be a little bit cheaper online. I'm not sure. I've had people ask me whether or not I question the accuracy of these strips. We use them in the hospital, so I kind of want to believe it, but I'm not sure. Before I go and test myself, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about how I'm feeling. I'm not gonna lie, I had quite a big weekend and I haven't had a weekend like that in a while, nor have I really had a weekend like that since I've been on the keto diet. And I'm going to say if I am out, it's probably due to drinking. I'm not gonna say I don't drink because I do, but I don't feel great when I drink. I had probably 3 glasses of red wine on Friday night, and on Saturday in the morning I woke up feeling horrendous. This is due to dehydration, but I did go to bed and I tried to drink so much water throughout the night, but I still felt awful. The next morning I felt bloated, foggy-minded, and you know, what people would just describe as a hangover or feeling dusty. But for me, going from feeling 10 out of 10, fully energized, being able to focus, having mental clarity, to this, it's not worth it. I don't like the feeling. I don't want to do it. However, I got back on the bandwagon and had another big drinking day on Saturday. On Sunday, I woke up and I felt okay, like I just kind of felt a little bit dusty, but that was, you know, my own fault. However, on Monday, I felt disgusting. I was so bloated and I still am feeling a little bit bloated. I can't focus, I lack energy. I went to the gym, I did my workout, but I wasn't there. I was like a zombie. On Friday and Saturday, I honestly did try my best to stick to the diet. I didn't eat anything that wasn't okay on the diet. I tried to keep my fats up. I didn't even have lemon and lime in my vodka sodas, my gin and sodas. I was super strict. However, I still woke up feeling horrendous. But we shall find out. So I'm gonna go and do a test and I'll let you know how I go. Okay, so not quite what I thought. I actually am still in. I'm reading plus or minus, and the way of telling how far you are in, you can just match it up to that. So I would say I'm, yeah, probably only 0.5, and that is traces of ketones. I'm usually much further in, reading a score of about 4, and now I'm only on 0.5. The huge thing that makes me just totally want to scrap drinking altogether is the way it makes me feel the next day. I just feel so nauseous. I feel dehydrated regardless of how much water I've had the night before with the drinks. And for me, it's just not a feeling I like. For me, this diet is a lifestyle rather than a diet. So in order to me to get the benefits of the diet, like the mental clarity, the focus, the energy, which is why I'm doing it, the weight loss is just an extra bonus. I don't like to do things that are going to kick me out of ketosis and totally undo all the hard work that I've done. But I totally understand that quitting drinking isn't an option for everybody. People rely on it to maintain social relationships, work events, and they just absolutely love it, which is fine. That used to be me. But for now, I don't get the same kicks out of having a night out. And because I've been exposed to how good this diet makes me feel, I don't want to feel like shit or undo anything that I've worked towards. I'm not saying that I'm not going to have nights out or I'm not going to have a bad day here or there where I do eat something that's high in carbs, something that will actually kick me out of ketosis. I'm not going to deprive myself of that for the rest of my life, but I will try and do my best to maintain this diet the best I can in order to feel the best I can feel every single day. There are 3 variations of the ketogenic diet. I'm on the standard, so my diet is high fat, moderate protein, low carb, and I stick to this every single day of the week. I don't have cheat days, I don't have bad days. Then there's a variation called the cyclical ketogenic diet, which is generally for people like bodybuilders or extreme athletes who really rely on these insulin spikes to get the most out of their training and gain size. The disadvantage with this kind of diet though is you are most likely going to store body fat. So it's mainly a 5-day strict standard ketogenic diet, and then you've got 2 days of carb loading. For people who kind of want to go in between cyclical and standard, it's called targeted ketogenic diet, which is where people will have like 50 grams, for example, of carbs half an hour before a workout just to get that insulin spike for the workout. It's generally for people who have just started the diet who can't quite quit the carbs straight up. They're still relying on the small insulin spikes. But I've watched so many YouTube videos and listened to so many podcasts where people are doing these variations of the ketogenic diet. And yes, they fall out of ketosis, but it only takes them 24 hours to 48 hours to actually get back in. But yeah, there are these different variations for people who can't cut the carbs 100% out of their diet and lifestyle, however, want to get the benefits of the diet. So for somebody who loves their weekends, you can do 5 days on the ketogenic diet and you can feel the benefits, you can feel the energy levels increase and get the focus and feel that limitless power that this diet actually provides. And then on the weekend, just go for it, let it slip. I'm personally not for that, only because, like I said before, this is a lifestyle for me now. It's not just a diet. I want to feel good 100% of the time, not 5 days out of 7 days of the week. Unfortunately, it's just not a diet you can dabble in. It's not something you can come in and out of whenever you please, because you will store the fat. Our brains and our bodies are primed to always prefer glucose over fat. So if you're providing both fuel sources, your body is going to take the glucose and store the fat. When starting a diet like this, yes, you will experience rapid weight loss, but eventually that's going to plateau. You can't let that plateau put you off the diet though. If you don't see continued results, or you're beginning to start storing body fat, it generally means you need to go back to basics. And basics are looking at things like being exactly on your macros. I've given myself a little bit of leeway because I know that if I increase a little bit of protein or I can eat this amount of carb, then I'm not going to fall out of ketosis. That is the benefit, that is the amazing thing about being in the adaptive phase. If you feel like you're falling off the bandwagon, which is how I felt for the last couple of days, it's important you don't give up. It just means you've got to go back to basics. So when I first started, I was literally obsessing over counting my macros, tracking them, putting them into MyFitnessPal and trying not to go a single gram over my goal. And with fat not going under the goal. People have asked me, how do I get to my fats without increasing my carbs and proteins? The answer to that is oils. Add oil to your coffee, your teas, your salads, everything if you can. I can really tell I'm out of ketosis if I feel an increase in my appetite. On this diet, I've made it so clear I don't feel hungry, but it's not so much initially feeling hungry, it's once I start eating, I don't really want to stop. There's no off button, and that is how I used to be before I started this diet. On the ketogenic diet, when I am in ketosis, my appetite is generally suppressed. I do eat full meals. However, I don't feel hungry in between them and I don't overeat. I found when I started this diet, I had a lot of people questioning what I was doing and arguing with me and saying, no, that much fat is so bad for you, bad for your cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. If this is you and you are having a hard time trying to explain to people what you're doing and why, don't talk about it. Just do it quietly. Do the diet quietly. I'm going to admit I've been a dieter pretty much my whole life. I've tried everything. I've done a juice diet. I tried the skinny teas back in the day. I was vegan for about 3 weeks. I quit sugar. I've literally tried them all. But the mistake I made was actually talking about them all too much, telling people as I was doing them what I was doing them and why. And then falling off the bandwagon and having people be like, that didn't work, did it? I've always trained really hard. I've always worked out hard. I've always been into fitness, but I've never been able to lose that soft layer over the top of what should be toned. So in starting a diet like this, if you're not surrounded by supportive people or people who understand what you're doing, or you can't answer the questions that they're asking, just keep it quiet. Do this quietly. Do your own research. Go home and figure out what this diet is about and what you actually want to get from it. If you are unsure yourself, go and see your GP, go and chat to your doctor. That's what I did. I had so many people on my back, on my case, and I couldn't quite answer the questions they were asking regarding fat and cholesterol. So I went and got a blood test and I spoke to my doctor about it, and it was just reassuring to know that this wasn't a bad decision. So that's all I'm going to talk about today, but please, if you have any questions, send them through because I love answering them. I'm headed back to Italy soon, so I'll have Chris by my side. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.